From the outside, my life looked perfect: a spacious home with a neatly trimmed lawn, a sparkling pool in the backyard, and a hard-working husband who provided everything for our family. Our son, Ethan, was 21, on the verge of graduating college, full of potential. To the world, we were the picture of happiness. But behind closed doors, things were far from ideal. My husband, Mark, spent most of his time either at the office or glued to his phone and television when he was home. The warmth that had once filled our marriage had faded into silence, leaving me feeling invisible in my own house. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon when I truly noticed Caleb for the first time. He was Ethan's best friend, confident, well-mannered, and someone who had been visiting our home for months. Until that day, he'd just been another face in the background. I was standing in the kitchen, glancing out the sliding glass doors when something shifted. Ethan and Caleb were by the pool, laughing easily. The sunlight danced on the water droplets clinging to Caleb's toned body as he resurfaced from a dive. His smile was carefree and inviting. There was something about the way he carried himself, so full of life, so unlike my husband's tired, distracted presence. For a fleeting moment, I found myself unable to look away. I shook off the thought and returned to the dishes, but my mind kept drifting back to him. Over the next few weeks, Caleb spent more time at our house. He and Ethan lifted weights in the garage, played video games late into the night, and lounged by the pool. With each visit, I became more aware of him, his voice, his laughter, even the subtle trace of his cologne that lingered long after he left. One afternoon, while Ethan ran to the store, Caleb stepped into the kitchen for a drink. "Mrs. Reynolds, mind if I grab some water?" he asked.
His deep voice startled me.
"Of course," I replied, trying to keep my tone light. "And please, just call me Claire." He grinned. "Thanks, Claire." As he reached for a glass, our hands brushed, a harmless, fleeting touch, but it sent a jolt through me. I pulled away quickly, hoping he hadn't noticed how my breath caught in my throat. "Sorry about that," he chuckled. "It's fine," I murmured, my cheeks flushing. As he walked away, I leaned against the counter, trying to calm the racing thoughts in my head. What was wrong with me? I was a married woman in my 40s, and yet here I was, blushing like a teenager. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, I sat by the pool watching the moonlight shimmer on the water. I told myself it was just a fleeting infatuation, something that would pass. But deep down, I knew better. A line had been crossed, and the feelings I tried so hard to suppress only grew stronger. Caleb wasn't just attractive, he was attentive. He noticed things, like the way I hesitated before answering a question, or how my smiles never quite reached my eyes. One evening, as I folded laundry near the living room window, I overheard Ethan and Caleb playing basketball outside. Their shirts were off, their bodies glistening with sweat under the summer sun. I tried to focus on the laundry, but my eyes kept drifting toward Caleb. And then he caught me watching. He smiled, not a friendly smile, but one that felt knowing, almost teasing. My heart pounded as I quickly looked away, pretending to focus on the clothes. A few minutes later, he stood by the open window. "You should come outside more, Claire. Get some sun." I forced a chuckle. "I'm fine right here." But his words lingered. It wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it, like a challenge. That night, as I cleared the kitchen, Caleb came in. His presence made the air feel heavy. "Need any help?" he asked. "I've got it," I said, avoiding his eyes. But he didn't leave. Instead, he leaned against the counter, watching me. "You work too hard," he murmured. "Someone should take care of you for a change." I froze, tightening my grip on the dish towel. No one had spoken to me like that in years. I should have shut it down. I should have walked away. But I didn't. That was the point of no return. One evening, Mark and Ethan went to a basketball game in the city. The house was unusually quiet. Caleb had stayed behind, saying he wasn't a fan of sports. I didn't question it. I was curled up on the couch with a book, though I hadn't absorbed a single word, when Caleb appeared in the doorway. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, holding a glass of water. I nodded. He sat beside me, closer than he ever had before. The air between us was thick, charged. "You seem nervous," he said after a moment. "I'm fine," I lied, though my hands trembled slightly. He gently took the book from my hands and set it aside. "Claire," he murmured, his voice steady, "you don't have to pretend with me." Hearing him say my name without formality sent a shiver through me. "I can't," I whispered. "You can," he countered. "I know you feel it too." And I did. I stopped thinking. Stopped worrying about the consequences. I leaned in, and he met me halfway. Our lips met, and weeks of unspoken desire exploded in a single moment. His hands were strong yet gentle, his touch igniting something in me I hadn't felt in years. For weeks, we stole moments, secret glances, whispers, fleeting touches that lit a fire in my veins. But secrets never stay hidden forever. The reckoning came. One evening, as I cleaned the kitchen, Mark found Caleb's hoodie draped over a dining chair. "Did Caleb leave this here?" he asked casually. "Yes," I replied too quickly, my heart thundering. "He must have forgotten it." Mark narrowed his eyes, but said nothing more. The final blow came days later. Mark walked into the kitchen at the worst possible moment, just as Caleb's fingers brushed against mine. The room went silent. Mark's face darkened. "What the hell is going on?" Ethan appeared in the doorway, confused. "What's happening?" Mark turned to him, voice sharp. "How well do you really know your friend?" And just like that, everything unraveled. Ethan stormed out, devastated. Caleb, stunned and silent, left without a word. Mark and I stood in the kitchen, the weight of my betrayal suffocating the air between us. The aftermath was unbearable. Ethan refused to speak to me. Mark moved into the guest room. Caleb vanished from our lives. Some mistakes can never be undone. Months have passed, and I still live with the consequences. My marriage hangs by a thread. My relationship with my son may never recover. And Caleb, he moved on. I saw him once from a distance, but we didn't speak. What we had wasn't love, it was a mistake. One that cost me everything. Now I live in a quiet house, haunted by my choices. Some lines, once crossed, can never be redrawn.